right, this is my vision board from maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but I always had some sort of fitness picture on my board, and right here is Mossy Arias. And I remember looking at her and thinking, I want to look like her, like I want to look like I work out, and it just seems so far off and so unattainable. And I can't believe, like, now I look like I work out. Like, what? She was such an inspiration.
You can't tell me where fi do, where fi go, how fi dress, me no papi show. Me a the star, so me a no fan of you. Do me wanna follow you. Me nah itch up under no man arm like Roland. Boss position, so no boy can't try program me. Rebel from day one. Real bad girl, so no boy can't try program me. Me no need donation. Autonomous, can't try come program me. Nanny never go a war for me. Sit down in a 2020 slavery. Shenyang if you match at your business, that too insecure that you is a. Watch your good, what you call that? Do your own thing, stop talk to the. What if him love, beg your money too? Can't pay rent and a bother you. Can't program me, nanny never go a war for me. Sit down in a 2020 slavery. Me no know about you, but me know about me. No man can lick me. Some gal love them man more than how them love them one pick me.
Hey everybody, it is July 4th and it's officially 1 year since I started my bodybuilding journey. I had my first workout at Megaflex Gym on July 4th. Like, it was hot in there. I didn't think I was gonna make it. I was like, what did I sign myself up for? But here we are a year later, looking a little different, right? Like, look at the arms, look at the physique compared to the picture, or not the picture, but the video that I posted from 1 year ago when I was getting started. But I definitely have come a long way. So I just want to do a recap and talk a little bit about how the past year went, what I learned about bodybuilding. And I think this is going to be helpful for anybody who's considering competing. And I wish I had just documented this like every step of the way, but I didn't. But I think it's still a good time because a lot of it is still very fresh for me, and I'm still competing, preparing now for another show, and so I'm still learning, and I just want to share that with everybody. So first, just to recap. So past year, I did 4 shows. I did 2 in November and then 2 in May 2024. And so for the May shows, I leaned out by about 30 pounds, which I can't even believe it because I didn't think I had 30 pounds to lose, but I lost 30 pounds, did 2 shows, did not do great in those shows. And I think that's because I didn't have enough muscle and I wasn't lean enough. And so in terms of my placings, it wasn't great. I actually thought at that time, like, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm not good at this. Maybe it's too late. Maybe I'm too old. But I ended up continuing. It lit a fire and it said, you know what, keep working, let's see what you can do, and then let's go for it again. So we took a little bit of an off season, and then next thing you know, we were right back into prep. I built more muscle, definitely did. Based on my body scan, I think I gained about 4 pounds of muscle, and then for my next show I got down to about 9% body fat. So that sounds a little crazy, but I think it's so amazing that I was able to do it, and I looked so much better. So for those shows in May, my placing was so much better. So I came in second place in open. Previous show, like last place. Okay, last place. And then in Masters, I came in first place in the first May show, and then in the second May show, I came in second for 45 plus, and then third for 35 plus. So way better, right? Definitely better than before. And that just motivated me to keep going, keep training. And it was fun. I mean, I think it was hard for sure, but just the process of training and learning about myself and pushing myself to the max was transformational. Like, I seriously think I've changed, I've grown, I've become so much more confident. A friend of mine has a podcast and she did an interview with me, and I talked a lot about how bodybuilding helped me get unstuck in other areas of my life. And it's the truth, because I had been feeling a bit stuck professionally, a bit stuck personally, and just could not gain like momentum to get out of that mindset. Because you have to first get out of that mindset to actually make a change in your life. And so this, as well as therapy, I started therapy like last fall too, just to kind of work through a lot of things that I was dealing with. And like I'm telling you, I just feel like a new person, and I'm just excited to keep going. So I will say there are some key things that I learned about myself, and also about bodybuilding and just weight loss in general, or fitness in general. And I'm not going to dive into everything in this particular video, but I will in future videos. But I'll just touch on a few top things. So first thing I think was just the importance of recognizing that it's never too late, right? I'm a mom. I'm 47. I was 46 when I started this. And, you know, I might have missed my window, right? That's like what I was thinking. Like, maybe I've missed my window, but it's never too late. Like, it's never too late for a new fitness journey. It's never too late to focus on your health. It's never too late to focus on you. It's never too late for a new career. You know, this goes beyond fitness. I just learned it's never too late. So if you have something on your heart that you want to do, and you feel pulled in a certain direction, do it. Seriously, this is your sign from the universe to do it, right? If I can do it, you can do it. And yeah, I'm just so proud of myself for taking a chance, right? Taking a chance on myself, investing in myself, and then doing it. So that's the first thing. I would also say I learned the importance of just enjoying the journey, right? Progress, not perfection. Like I said, I did not do great in those first two shows, and you know, falling or coming in last place was like a gut punch. But it's about progress, right? Not perfection. And so the only way that you move forward is by taking it one step at a time, right? Focus on the journey, one step at a time, and then you just figure out how to elevate, right? You may have a setback, you might have a failure, you might, you know, just think, well, is this right for me? But when you really look back at it, you learn something from it, and you just keep going. All right, and then the third thing I would say is, you know, it's okay to be vulnerable. I think for me, I sometimes don't like to put myself out there when I'm not 100%. And I think that's probably the reason why I did not record anything last year, because I was like, who am I? I just started this. I don't even look like a bikini competitor. But I think that vulnerability is what helps you, I don't know, just be honest with yourself about, you know, what you're trying to do, what you can do. It pushes you. And I think that I've learned that vulnerability and put myself out there is important. And I think the biggest thing that I was concerned about was my midsection. Going on stage in a tiny bikini, exposing your biggest insecurity is hard mentally. And my biggest piece of feedback from the judges was around my midsection, right? Because I've had 3 kids. I haven't had any sort of cosmetic surgeries, and nothing against those surgeries and people who do it, but I haven't had that. And so I was just up there with my, you know, mommy belly after 3 kids, trying my best, trying my best. And I think that vulnerability just kind of helped me stop being afraid, right? Stop being afraid of taking chances, because if I'm trying to hide all my insecurities or be perfect, right, you'll never really put yourself out there. So that was a big lesson for me. But on the fitness side, I definitely learned how to train on my own. I think that is huge. I had worked out with a personal trainer for a year and a half, which got expensive, but at the same time, it was really valuable, because the trainer I had at that time, he was amazing. He was amazing with teaching me about form, with teaching me about activating, you know, different muscles and muscle-mind connection. And when I started working out with him, I stayed with him for so long because I was intimidated by the gym, right? I didn't think that I can go to the gym and train on my own. And I started really using him as a crutch. And in this process with my prep coach, I had to learn how to train on my own. And really, it was mental more than physical. If anything, I just didn't think that I could stay motivated, that I can push myself through the hard reps, that I would, I was worried I would look crazy in the gym, right? That I was doing things wrong. But once I started to get past that mindset, I realized, you know what, girl, you just got to go in there because you have to get these exercises done. You have to get this training done 5 days a week. Nobody is looking at you. Nobody is judging you. And so just get it done. And so for me, that was such a breakthrough to learn how to train on my own. Now, like, it is nothing for me to go in a gym and train on my own. Like, this is just what I do. So I train with my prep coach once a week, but otherwise I'm training on my own every other day, or all of the other 4 days. I also learned the importance of diet. Like, diet is so critical. And I wasn't doing any sort of diet with my previous personal trainer. I was just, working out and eating what I wanted to do. And he always told me, if you cut out alcohol and you, watch what you ate, then you would meet your goals. Not necessarily my muscle building goals, but my fat loss goals. And so I think I just didn't understand it. Like, he might as well have been speaking French to me because I just did not understand how to do that. And I'm going to do a whole separate video on this because the diet piece is really like 80% of it. And once you understand how to track your food, prep your food, as well as, just have the discipline to stick to your meal plan, like, that is going to be the breakthrough for you. If you have weight loss goals, the diet is like the difference maker. That is it, seriously. And so I'll talk more about that on a separate video, just so you can understand like how I track my food, how I prepare it, how I weigh it, how I mix it up sometimes to just, make sure it's not boring. Meal prep food all the time, but that was key, just really understanding the diet piece. And then also I would say I really started to understand, I guess how, and I'm still trying to be better at this, but just how to make time for it all, right? How to fit it in my schedule. I hear a lot of people say, like, I just don't have time to work out. Like, I do not have time. And so I learned that when you care about something enough, you make time, right? You figure out your schedule. You figure out how to make it work. And so that piece is key. And I'll talk more in another video about how I make time and how I fit everything in between kids, work, running a business, and husband, right? There's a lot going on, plus training 5 days a week, meal prepping, and just like being sane, trying to stay sane. So that's something that I learned a lot about too. So I would say those are the big things. In terms of competing too, I did learn a lot about what it means to compete. I think initially I thought, okay, you just put on your bikini, you get skinny, and then you go on stage and you pose. No, it is so much more than that. This is a sport. I respect the sport. I respect the people in this sport. And it really is, like, I've met some of the most amazing, disciplined people ever. I've made great friends, amazing friends, and I'm just like inspired by the people in this sport. Really, like, they help me elevate, and that's been so cool. It's just the respect that I've gained for this sport has been super cool. So muscle building is critical. You need the right shape, the right muscle to go on stage and be ready. My first shows, I went on stage in 4 months. I realized I needed more time, and it really took me about 10 months. 10 months to be like truly, kind of stage ready in terms of shape, in terms of leanness, posing, because my posing was trash in my earlier shows. But it wasn't trash. I did okay. But when I think about how I posed in my May shows, so much more confident, so much smoother. So all of that matters, right? All of those pieces have to come together. And by May, I was like, I'm kind of looking like a bikini competitor. So I would just say, if you're thinking about competing, give yourself enough time, right? Give yourself time to build that muscle. Give yourself time to get lean enough. I did my shows all naturally, so no enhancements. And it takes time to build the muscle, and then you have to cut the body fat slowly so you don't lose the muscle. And especially for me at my age of 47, right, it's just really critical to hold on to the muscle that I have because it's a little harder to build it. Although my coach says, like, you have great genetics and most people don't build muscle the way you do. So who knew? Who knew I had good genetics? Never knew, because I never even thought I could try this sport. And so that's been kind of cool to learn that I have genetics on my side. But I would say I also learned about like what the judges really look for in terms of criteria. So if you're considering competing and you're considering bikini, they definitely want to see shoulder development. So, you know, you kind of have to have, not kind of, but you have to have those shoulder caps. They don't really judge your back, but we train back a lot because that creates that hourglass shape that they're looking for. So, you know, a little bit wider on top, narrow in the waist. That is what they look for. And so building out my lats and building out my back helps give me that shape. And then they also look for a tight waist. Like, they want tiny, tiny waists, which, you know, it's a little bit more challenging if you've had kids to have a super tiny, tight waist. But I've done a lot in terms of working on my core, trying to close my abdominal separation. I do have a slight abdominal separation on my lower abs just from pregnancy and having kids. I'll make a whole nother video about the things that I've done for that, which I think have been really great. And yeah, my core has gotten tighter with every show. Still has, you know, room for improvement, but that is something that I realized they really look for. And glutes, like, you gotta have like nice round full glutes, tight. The legs and the glutes and the tie-ins between the hamstrings and the glute muscle is something that they look for. They don't want you like overdeveloped and too much muscle, but you got to have that right muscle development and that right level of conditioning. And conditioning is just basically how lean you are, for everything to be able to pop and for you to have that bikini look. And so I had more of that look by my May show for sure. And I think my physique stands out a lot from the back. From the front, it's the waistline that I'm working on. So when I get that tight, watch out. So let's see what else. I mean, I think that's it for now. But yeah, if you're thinking about competing, just know it is so much fun. Like, being on stage, getting glammed up. It's so much fun, but it's expensive. Like, between the bikini, which is like $400 or more, the hair, the makeup, extensions, if you get those, the competition fees, the travel in terms of hotel and getting to a show, food, supplements. Like, nobody told me how expensive the sport was. Like, I kind of jumped in and didn't think about it. So I'm gonna have to do a whole nother post about that too, because it's expensive. And so you have to have, you know, your finances in order before you do this. You have to have your mindset in order before you do this. You have to find the right prep coach, you know, to do this. And so there's a lot that I figured out, and I'm still learning. Like, I'm a baby in this sport, and I say it all the time. I'm still a baby. I'm still learning. There's so much that I don't know. And when I learn something new, I'm like, I can't believe I didn't know that. But yeah, so it's just been a lot of fun, and I'm gonna keep going. So my next show will be a national level show, which I never even thought I would want to continue this. I thought maybe after the first show I would be done, like maybe it's a bucket list thing, but then I got addicted. So I will say, watch out if you compete, because you might get addicted to it. But yeah, I'm in it. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So I'm gonna keep doing this until I'm tired of it, and I want to see how far I can go. So that is just my quick recap. Again, I'm gonna create some separate videos on some of those other topics because I think they deserve so much more attention. And there's so much that I just want to share, because I wish I had like fully understood those things before I started. And so if I can help somebody else who's jumping into this fitness journey or competition journey, if I can help them navigate it in, you know, the most like seamless way possible, I want to do that. So that is all for now. Look out for the next video. Definitely share this with friends who might be considering competing, and like and subscribe. All right, thank you. Talk soon.